afternoon to you all, viewers. Welcome to Civic Space TV. This is Women Rise. Yes, we are always here every Saturday afternoon, and today we are really so lucky. We are in the month of women. We are celebrating women this whole month. And today with me, I have a great woman. She's doing a lot of work in communities. And I know many of you have seen her around because of the work that she's doing. She is a seasoned banker and activist. She's advocating for fair treatment of the girl child and all women. Yes, there is really a purpose or why we brought her here today, and particularly in this month, because she's advocating for the young girl, for the young woman, and this is a Women's Month. So we are really looking forward to enjoying this conversation with her, of course, and learning a lot from her experience and how she's doing it. Yes, so join me, welcome Mrs. Georgina.N.Lwere. You're welcome, Georgina.
Thank you so much, Madreen, for hosting me.
Yes.
Good afternoon, viewers. I hope you had a wonderful day, and I'm looking forward to sharing a lot of passion that I move with around women. I am so women-centric. I don't leave out a girl child.
Wow.
In whatever I do. I am Georgina.N.Lwere, a seasoned banker. I head the procurement unit at BRAC Uganda Bank Limited, a bank that looks at a woman at the lowest of the pyramid.
Wow.
I have 14 years experience in banking. I have managed to work with several banks, including Finance Trust Bank, my former employer, where we are putting women first. So the enthusiasm and the zeal and energy around women is what I've moved with for 14 years.
Wow, wow, so beautiful. And being the March, the Women's Month, what's your message, first of all, before we even go into the conversation? Which women do you celebrate in this particular month, and your message to all women?
Thank you so much. I first of all want to celebrate my mother.
Wow.
She's the reason, Mommy, wherever you are. My mother has been bedridden for the last 6 years.
Oh.
But she's such an inspiration to me. Mommy, I celebrate you. I want to celebrate every woman across the world. I don't want to segregate maybe members of parliament. We respect you. The women in leadership, we respect you. The mothers that take care of our children when we are away, we respect you. I want to respect every woman in the respective capacities where they serve.
Wow, we are starting on the right note here, celebrating all women wherever you are, whatever you're doing in your society. As long as you're a woman, you're doing something, you're indeed a great woman and a hero. We celebrate you. So Georgina, you've introduced yourself, but then we want to look at you, your young childhood experience. Tell us about your experience as a young woman growing up.
Thank you so much. Georgina grew up in a family of 20. I happen to be the 20th child in that family.
Wow.
Meaning I am the last born.
Quite a big family.
Quite a big family,
yes.
Extended as such. And I happen to be the last born in that family. I come last. Everybody knows I come last. But coming last doesn't make me a very, very inferior person. I am a risk-averse person, very energetic. I have evolved in my family up to an extent of now being their leader. I find some people calling me mom, because of the energy that I have around myself. We are 10 girls and 10 boys in that family, where I come last. My mother is still alive. My father is also still alive. They are resident in Pelere.
Wow.
I happen to have gone to Nagalama Primary School for 7 years, where I moved to secondary O level at St. Lawrence. Cubs Lake, that is Kabaka's Lake campus. From there, I went to Caltech Academy for my A-levels, and then joined Makerere University Business School for a diploma in marketing. Then I also joined Makerere for a bachelor's in procurement. I also enrolled for a postgraduate in procurement.
Wow.
And a master's in procurement.
Wow.
That makes me a procurement guru.
Wow.
And I'm a specialist and a consultant in procurement.
Wow.
Away from banking or my career, I do women activism on a voluntary basis. I was inspired by my former employer, Finance Trust Bank, where I would put women first. Every thought that was in Finance Trust was around women. And here I am serving BRAC as a head procurement. Still, BRAC puts women first. We look at a woman at the lowest of the pyramid.
Wow.
And in society, I work with doctors, I work with the church, Mothers Union, different churches. I'm not so specific to Namirembe Cathedral. I also go there to help women. I inspire women financial literacy, how to change their lives, their responsibilities. There is so much that I'm doing for women. I teach them how to cook at no cost. Whatever I do for a woman, I do it with passion, and I don't charge women anything.
Oh,
yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you mentioned you're the last one out of 20. How was it growing up? I believe you received a lot of love, a lot of pampering from everyone. Did you have any challenges while growing up as a young woman?
Yes, growing up as a young woman and being the last born in my family, I was a special species, and I'm still a special species. People have not even appreciated around me in my family that I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 4, though I raised so many from my siblings and other relatives. I am a mother of the community. Growing up as a last born was really interesting. Few challenges I can mention, to be truthful. I was that lovely girl.
I know.
My crying would make
everyone worried.
Feel it, and everybody worried. My dad would beat almost everybody around if I cried. So my crying meant a lot. Unlike now, when I choose to cry, I choose to cry at my own risk. But being a mentor of women and an activist, I have stopped the crying. I want to change lives of women. And I call upon women wherever they are, if they have arrangements for women, motivational speaking platforms for women. I am one person who is ready to talk to women and change the lives of women at no cost.
Wow, very beautiful. So we go into your career. Why is this inspiration? You know, banking. It's quite a difficult sector, maybe I might say, for some people, but your inspiration for, you know, joining the banking sector right from school, the courses that you did were in line with this.
Thank you so much. Banking sector is something we thought that working in a banking sector, you must have done accounting. I started working in the banking sector, but previously I had an inspiration. I would see the way they dress, the way they move. I always wanted to count money because I'm so truthful when it comes to money. I want, sometimes I even fail to exchange. If you give me money to keep for you, I want to return it the way you gave it to me, because I feel there is something that I need to do generously to a person who has entrusted me or trusted me with money. And that is why banks exist. And my inspiration came from the way they dress, the way they talk to people, the respect people give them other than the lawyers. I think banking industry is very interesting when it comes to a woman, because you have to speak to so many women and then everybody looks up to you, the trust they have with you. And then there is a confusion where people think whoever works in a bank is rich.
I know.
No, we just keep the money. We just protect the money, keep it, and ensure.
How do you keep money and you don't have it?
Thank you so much. What happens, you must have integrity when you're working in a financial institution. Your integrity must not be questionable at any one single time. Money that is not yours is not your money.
Not yours.
Unless you're saying you're getting an accountable advance, you're getting, you're securing a loan. But one key aspect in banking is integrity. Your integrity has to be unquestionable. At any given time they do a make a check on you, you must be on the right path when it comes to money, because the same money that you take is the same money that is going to end you up the entire life in jail, because in banking institutions, once you're fraudulent, you are flagged in all financial institutions. So there is a gospel our mother used to preach to us: tomorrow will be better. Indeed, tomorrow was better. Thank you, Mom.
Well, so 14 years in banking, what is your experience like? This is quite, some number of years. What has been your experience in this sector? What lessons or opportunities have you achieved as a person, and of course for the women that you advocate for?
Thank you so much. In the banking sector, there are so many opportunities. One key aspect I have achieved from the banking sector is social capital. In my capacity as a head procurement, I have built social capital amongst the internal customers. Now those are the staff. Then I have also built social capital with the external parties. Those are the vendors. There is no single time that passes in a day without someone asking a question or solving any problem that you have. I've also managed to meet so many people in the banking sector because of the role that I play, and I believe it is an impact. Once you have social capital, you don't even have to be so rich. The only thing you have to do is to keep healthy and keep the social capital that you have built. This social capital looks at the people you onboard, the quality of people you onboard, the way they look at you and what you pass on to them. And I am using the same social capital to change the women out there. One, advising them to take their children to school, be there for them, train them to be better people, live the example like I have lived. I am an example to so many people because of my conduct, the way I conduct myself. I am a no fraud person. I advocate for no fraud in the banking sector. I advocate for integrity, advocate for transparency, fairness, because in the role I play, we have a Bible, PPDA, where we borrow all the ethical codes of conduct, values and missions. Yes.
Okay, for the years you've been in the banking sector, what are some of the changes you've witnessed? Change will come, evolve in the banking industry, the whole of Uganda?
The whole of Uganda, I can look at the automations that have happened in the banking sector. Previously, we would have long queues, would have all services in the banking sector manual, but now we are going e. All systems and all processes are evolving to e, or electronic or automated kind of operations in the banking sector. I am witnessing it. I am personally having it in the unit where I serve. Because of the lengthy processes that we go through in procurement, we are choosing to go e, or automated system of procurement. So from where a requisition is made up to when we make a payment, and then we have all documents saved. So even the transactions that happen in the tills, we are no longer going to see the engagements, the tellers and the customers. Every activity is going to be automated, where a customer just goes to an ATM machine, withdraws, the account is debited, automated, reconciliations automated.
Everything.
So I am part of the staff or the people that are looking at banking institutions evolve. Yes, from manual to automation.
And there is, currently online banking. Please talk about online banking. What are some of the challenges you think you people in the banks have encountered? Of course, even as the customers or people who use this have also a few challenges here and there. But what have you, as a person who is always in the bank, what are some of the queries your customers really bring out to you?
Thank you so much. One of the challenges we have encountered is fraud. A customer will walk in and say, my account has been debited, say 4 million. It is because of the electronic frauds. Automation also has challenges that come along with it. So as we look to improve our services and turnaround time, there is also a part of exposure. And one of it being fraud. The customers come back to us and say, the systems that you're bringing for us are too fraudulent. The perception, the customers have not perceived the automation. They still come back to do manual processes. Then because some of these automated systems require advanced phones, not the ones, the usual phones the customers have. You find if we have a target market of, say, customers deep in the area, the sensitization, they're complaining, we don't know what you're talking about. Even if you want to teach them, they are not secure because they are not interacting with a teller in front of them. So the mindset itself is a challenge. Believing that I can transact at leisure in my sitting room, I do a transaction, it is successful without any intervention of a banking teller or anybody interfacing me. So the mindset is also a challenge. Then the frauds we're encountering every other day. Banks are losing a lot of money because of electronic frauds. And customers are also losing a lot of money because they are defrauded. They don't know how to use the systems. You teach them, then they want somebody else to teach them, and then the sharing of pins. So in between there, as they share pins, then we end up, our customers end up losing money. So there are so many challenges that come with automation or electronic transactions, but those are key that we have vividly seen. Yes.
And up to now, we still have people who don't even have a bank account. Yes. What are some of the awareness or sensitizing people about the importance or the need for someone not to keep money at home? Because we still have people, in far places. Is it because this banking, the services are not, reaching people in the far places, or is it just us, the people who are not yet there to trust this process?
Okay, thank you for that question. There is a lot that banking institutions have done to sensitize. We have agents that we have even allocated to these customers given the areas where they are, because the distances to get to us or our branches or our locations may be long for them, and they have to incur transport costs. We've gone ahead to have agents, mobile money agents, to transact for and on behalf of us, of the banks, but still we give limits under which they operate. The sensitization, we've had mobile vans go to remote locations where we feel there is massive need for sensitization about banking. Then as time evolves, we are also introducing POS machines that our sales team go with to the fields to enable customers transact. You give them money, they transact on your account reflects with that balance. So because of the fear people have on automation, still we will continuously sensitize on having money with the bank. Then we're also sensitizing on the interest that comes with these accounts. Then the culture of saving. What do you benefit from saving? The bank is not going to close because your money has been defrauded. These monies are insured. So all that sensitization we are doing, but slowly by slowly and process by process, I think we'll have each one of us on board and appreciate the areas of banking and having money banked in financial institutions. Yes.
Wow. And Georgina, as a banker, in the life of a banker, what is your day like? And for someone, a young girl who wants, to start a career in banking, what is your advice to her? How should people behave? How is this work done?
Thank you. My day starts at 6:45. I am an early bird. Being a perfectionist, I want to be on the road with no hassle.
Yes.
So I wake up at 5, take that minutes to organize myself. By 6:45 on a daily, 365 days in a year, I'm in office. By 6:45, I want to first pray for whatever decisions I'm going to take, any encounters that will come my way. Then I write in my notebook my to-do list on a daily. So whatever comes in after the to-do list is an ad, but at least I know what I have to tick off in terms of ticking boxes. So by 8, I'm having breakfast. If I don't have breakfast by 8, then I'll speak into lunch. I am very, very organized when it comes to what I have to do. I have programmed meetings. So any meeting deviating from the programmed, I need to first fix a few minutes to speak to. Like I said, the office where I work, it is an open office. Anybody comes in any time they feel like. So I need to incorporate in whatever wasn't planned, because we have online bookings done for meetings. Then I have to tour around my team and speak to them on my expectations for the day, call for what is lagging, which help they need from me. So I'm a very interactive person. How I advise the girls that want to join banking: 1, your integrity has to be high. It has to be unquestionable. You must walk the talk yourself. That girl out there that wants to join banking, you must walk the talk. You must be a transparent person. You must be disciplined, because discipline moves with education. However much you acquire master's, PhD, without discipline, you cannot handle. And in banking, it is discipline, financial discipline, then discipline within yourself. I would also advise the girl out there to ensure that they go for those opportunities. Jobs are now online, and they advertise online and request for documents online. So I've seen a tendency of where an advert runs for like 10 days, and then someone wants to submit on the 10th day. Some windows close for adverts. Either they have so many or they've gotten what they want, and then they close. And when you get to interviews, be articulate. Read about the organization that you're joining. Get to know where they were, where they are, and where they are looking to go. Because some of the questions that we ask on interview panels come through some of those things. It may not be direct questions. It is it could be about the economy, In banking sector, we do not move in the direction you think you'll have read. Because when you take time reading procurement, some of the questions are just not the ordinary. They may not come from the direction where you think. It could be articulation. And when they come to these panels, let them have 3 key things: a story, a success, a solution. So as you're talking about yourself as Georgina, what is your story? And I want to advocate to every woman, A woman who has no past has no future.
Oh.
So a woman should have a story.
Wow.
You must have succeeded in doing one or two things or many. You must have solutions because a lot is evolving. So there are three things that I advocate women to have and to always interest themselves to be accompanied with, as they're always talking about themselves: a story, a success, and a solution.
Story, success, and solution. And you realize that whatever Georgina is talking about speaks to the relevance of this show. Yes, why we host these women, you know, they come share their stories, their success stories, and of course you can pick one or two things that you can also blend with your life, with your story, and be somewhere. Yes, so Georgina, take us to your activism. This activism, you mentioned that you got the inspiration from your former boss. Yes, but there is more we want to know about this activism and why in particular the girl child or the young woman.
Thank you so much. The activism part came when I had a sick child. I have my fourth child who is struggling with asthma. So I happened to be moving around all hospitals looking for a solution. Sometimes I would encounter challenges. I would look for a shoulder to lean, somebody to feel the way I'm feeling, because we would move in the wee hours of the night. So one time, as we were trying to look for where to take him and not go through jam, we landed on Dr. Madreen, who is the proprietor of Icon Hospital in Bulenga, and that is where my journey started. I met Dr. Madreen, who has found a solution for us. Even when I'm not around and on errands up country, Dr. Madreen knows there is Ezekiel, Georgina's son, to look after. He will call me, he will ask me. So Dr. Madreen had initiatives to change lives of women, teach them on health matters. So I asked him, Dr. Madreen, I am not a specialist, a medical specialist, but in my capacity, I feel I have something that I can contribute to women. Can I bundle with you people? As you're going to societies, as you're going to communities, to have women, pregnant women, speak to them in order for them to appreciate the maternal challenges we're experiencing, why they have to go to hospitals and consult from the doctors on which medications, on what to do, how to prepare to bring another life. So I found that a good platform for me to also speak to the women. Remember, in my submission, I said, whatever I do for a girl child or women, I do it for free. So that is how I started going to communities with Dr. Madreen, the proprietor of Icon in Bulenga, and I started speaking to women on financial aspects and also emphasis on testing for HIV, for breast cancer, for family planning. It was just an ad. They needed to hear from a woman who is now not a medic, but in another area, and also give them the inspiration that we can have child spacing, we can know our health stand by checking for HIV and confirming if we're okay, we need to keep safe. I was also educating them on violence, which is not very good for women. We are experiencing it now. So that platform that Dr. Madreen gave me changed my life and the way I look at women. Previously, I would, I planned to retire and have an advocacy for women at no cost. Help them seek legal justice, help them have mediations. Sometimes some of the wrangles they are experiencing just need somebody to speak to them and say, woman, girl, child, calm down. You need to respect mommy. You need to do this. It just needs that help. That is what they need from us who have taken that angle to help change a woman. So my turning point was when I had a sick child, and when I saw somebody putting in so much effort to see that this child is okay, I said, what can I pay? God, what can I pay Dr. Marvin? There was so much I could do. So when we go for those community engagements with women, I go and buy kits, mama kits for the women at no cost. I distribute them. I just want to be just want to see a woman healthy, a woman live happily. I also tell them I have, through my social capital I have built, I have women lawyers that I seek legal redress from, and also legal advice, so that we can help these women that are encountering challenges in their marriages. Men are not paying for their children school fees to go back to school. It is mandatory, especially if a man is alive, to ensure they cater for all the needs of the family. So it is ignorance of communities and society where they don't know their rights. But the right of receiving the needs in a home is mandatory for the man to provide. Now we are seeing women are actually taking on the roles, yes, of men. So I am an advocate, not legally, but somebody who has taken an extra mile to ensure women are safe and the girl child is safe. Some girls are, there is a home I went to in Bukasa, it's along Bulenga Road, and there are children between 12 to 19 years. Now that one was under a church arrangement, Mothers Union. They took me there to speak to these girls, to make them feel it is okay for now. You can have a child, you can go back to school after this. You don't have to abort, you don't have to kill yourself. Some have been disowned from their families. So that home in Bukasa, it's called Wakisa Ministries. It is owned by one of the Mothers Union women, and she's doing it for free for those girls between in the ages 12 to 19. So I urge every woman out there who can visit that home or that ministry to go and talk to these girls and change their lives. The home is in Bukasa. It's called Wakisa Ministries. So that one is also a church arrangement. Then under the medics, that is how I got to know the nurses in Uganda. They call me to speak to them. I have stories that I have spoken to women and changed their lives, where I say you can start from grass to grace. And that is where we started. I tell them stories, personal stories. I speak to them on the agony other women are going through, but how have they overcome? So, sorry, being in a home where you are abused as a woman is not the end of it. Some women, it is a wake-up call for you to start working, for you not to fight with this man to give you the needs of the home. Some men have abandoned their wives. They have abused them in front of children. They have gone unattended too. The courts of law have not gone to the communities. So that is where we are going. And I advocate for all women out there who want to bundle us with us, the ones that are doing this role at no cost, to please come to us, and then we can join the cause to change the lives of women and a girl child. Yes.
So Georgina, you're doing quite amazing work, but in your submission you keep mentioning some of the issues women are going through. What are some of the most pressing challenges these women are facing, and you think that society, if we join together, we can really overcome these things?
Thank you so much. The biggest challenge the women are encountering is the torture. They are being tortured silently. The men are impregnating them, and then after a woman conceives, the man says, I'm not ready to take on, you better abort. Women out there, abortion is not good. you will die when undergoing those abortions. It is not good. And because of intermarriages, some cultures don't advocate for certain things. So you find a woman just picked a relationship along the way. They were all maybe in a market, they met along the way. So before you even get to know which family you're bringing into your life, they have already conceived. So there is there is that bracket of women that don't even know. Someone tells you, I don't know where the man comes from or hails from, but she's pregnant, she's expecting a baby.
Today morning I was looking through, I saw there's a story NTV ran. There's a younger, she's still young, but she had a muzungu, a white man, had a first baby.
Saw that story.
Yeah, you saw it.
It's running
but then the
on social
man,
media.
you know, abandoned her because she conceived she got a second baby. How does that girl start life?
I'm actually following that story, and she's in a house. When it rains, they have to carry everything on top of the bed. I am watching it and trying to follow it and see how we can help.
Yes.
Now, these are the things that we do. I happen to be in a relationship with someone who is a Rotarian. These are some of the things. Now, such kind of things, I relate them to him and say, how does Rotary help such a person? Because myself, I'm not a Rotarian, but he is. So most of the things that I see, I normally share with him and say, how can Rotary help such a woman? But first, we need to seek legal redress for her. She needs to get justice. Women don't have justice, especially. You know, she even went ahead to seek legal redress and she did not succeed. So as if she has hit a dead end and she has lost hope. So there are chances of such women committing suicide and then killing their children as well. Sometimes they become wild to society. Even when you go to help them, they do not believe there is something good that can come out of that. Yes. But I am watching, and I think Rotary can take on from there. We can come in maybe on medical help and then any other help, but we are looking after so many women and children. Sometimes for the pregnant women, I give them clothes. I've given out everything that I had for my children because I want women to have, they need to have solace of someone who speaks positivity to them. Yes.
And why do you think these things keep happening over and over again? And to women, these days we see a lot of young women, young girls going through these things.
The culture has dropped. We have shifted from norms, values, and the culture. Now, in so many years ago, we used to see marriages happen officially. By official, I mean there is an introduction, there is a church wedding. Even if those didn't happen, but you know where the families hail from, both the woman and the man. But now, while we are having all that, we have lost control on values. We have lost control because a woman is not supposed to be beaten, neither is a man. But now the beating is okay.
It's too much.
Either party can beat and it is okay.
And
you find even people recording, social media recording as someone is being
recording and
yes, and other people chanting. Way back that didn't happen, and the values were very respected. And we used to respect what our parents used to tell us. Nowadays you tell your child, don't go with that boy. You find when they have gone with that person. So the respect for values, for norms, for culture has been lost. And I think social media is eating up the industry and the world per se, where you find if you get a disagreement in a relationship, it ends up on social media.
Yeah.
When you break up with someone, social media. anything like a quarrel between my parents and the man's parents on social media, because each party wants justice. Unlike way back where your auntie comes in and the brother-in-law, who is my brother, comes in to amicably see how we resolve this. Now, whatever misunderstanding is in a relationship, it is for social media in-laws
to
resolve.
handle.
Yes.
Wow, wow. And what are some of the success stories, that we get to see from your activism ever since you started?
One of the success stories, key success story I can highlight is where the women come back and say, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. I've received so many calls when the women are appreciating for the insightful messages that we pass on to them. We happen to share success with Icon, so wherever I go, it is success for Icon, because that is where activism started. And we have had so many women that didn't know that a woman is supposed to receive antenatal care, and antenatal is given at no cost by Icon. They are now receiving antenatal care up to when you give birth.
Wow.
And then you just have to have 50,000 to cater for the kids and the other requirements of the hospital, but the entire antenatal is at no cost.
At no cost.
It is an impact I and Icon have created.
Wow.
I've seen women come back to me and say, you remember the overall you gave me? You remember the stockings you gave us when we met in the community? Here is your baby. So I have become a mother, not only to my 4 biological children, but to the entire world.
Wow.
I've had women change, and they are now working. They say, please come and visit me and see what I'm doing. It has started in my community, but I believe it will also change. And my community is not only Chirekabira, but Bulenga, Wakiso. Wherever you call us, we come and change the lives of women.
Because we want to see everywhere, all of Uganda,
It started 1 year ago. But we've seen impact. We visit homes of women, girl children that have conceived. There are those that are HIV positive. We have spoken positivity to them. By the time you meet this child, the child is already crying. By the time you leave, there is hope. We have created hope. I have personally created hope in the lives of women. And I look to retire as an activist for women, because I need justice for women. The men out there, we need justice for women.
And then you talk about women, so I'll follow up with this question. How do you engage men and boys, in making sure the justice you're fighting for as a woman is also achieved by them? They have a role to play.
True. Some call me Senga. In my local language, Senga means auntie.
Yes.
I'm an auntie to the boys and girls. Wherever I have worked, I tell them, come at leisure. After 1, we talk about issues that you have. Sometimes they call me for bridal showers. I speak to women. Hygiene, as the Senga, as the auntie of women. So the age doesn't matter. Sometimes I'm meeting women in their 40s. I am meeting men. I've not gotten an in-depth collection of men, because they tend to tease that whole session. But when they get time, they come to me. I am a singer for both women and men, not only girls. I may be an advocate for girls and women, but I also advocate for equal treatment for men. And I usually meet them on case by case, especially when they are getting married or when they start engaging into a relationship. Sometimes I even sieve the girls they are going to marry and say, that one, when she came here, she didn't greet me. her language, her tone, I don't think will handle.
Okay.
Sometimes the men tell me, you know, she comes from a certain part of the country, that is how they behave. I say, no, this is a long-term relationship that you're going for. You need to fall in love and walk the marriage journey with someone who gives you peace. And where I give advice to men, where you encounter challenges with a girl, she's a QA, question answer girl, you need to take some steps back, because you need to work, you need to have social capital, you need to have a life. The girls out there, the men have life, and they had life before you.
Yeah.
So don't over engage. Don't over engage. And marriage is a journey. It is not a story just. And we are seated here in a story, and then it is a journey for someone else. So what you make it is what it is. If you want it to be a question answer, it will be a QA. And when they get fed up of each other, they don't even remember what they've done for each other.
Yeah.
You need to respect the time you have been together, and also appreciate that a relationship can start and end. So I advocate for both. I speak to the men. The men out there, please utilize me to speak to you. And I keep it so professional.
Okay.
Our sessions don't have areas of vulgar words, and then unleashing bedroom matters. No, we don't discuss that. It is the basics for marriage, because marriage is what you make it.
Now you're talking of marriage, I'll think of this question around, you know, many young women or many young girls have failed. And marriage these days, the percentage at which we are failing in marriage is very, very high compared to what we used to see our parents. Parents have been there, our mothers have been there. Where is the problem and where is the gap? How can we, you know, close this gap?
Thank you so much. I think most of the reasons why we're having marriages break, one is lack of preparation. Way back, our parents were prepared for these marriages. Now, the churches are the ones preparing. The bars are the ones preparing.
Social media.
Social media is the one preparing. Someone posts, I hear there are platforms where men look for women and women look for men.
Yes.
It used not to happen with our days. And then confidentiality is lost in marriages nowadays. Before, our mothers had a lot that we have just gotten to know now. That so and so did this, your dad did this to me. Now, whatever happens between four walls, it is spread on social media. Before you know, it is everywhere, and everybody is having a concern. Before, concerns in marriages were taken to very few people to handle and amicably resolve. Now, everybody pokes into that relationship and giving advice. Yes. Before, our mothers used to get advice from their parents, and then a few relatives, either a key uncle and a key auntie, who have actually lived their life straight. They have not divorced. They are serving God. They are very respectful. Now we choose anybody we find in marriages to talk to. And sometimes they tell you, tell me who you move with. I tell you their behaviors. Now, you find someone who is intending to divorce speaking to somebody who is already divorced. That is already crossroads.
Yeah.
You need to speak to people that have not divorced and are living an example, but not with someone who is already divorced, and you think they will speak positivity. They will just tell you, leave the marriage. Then we have consultants, marriage consultants. A marriage consultant, herself or himself, has failed, but is now a consultant. Maybe because they have knowledge around marriage breakages, and I find the trend changing. Our parents managed it because they could confine and conceal. Now, whatever happens in relationships ends up on social media. Social media is eating up all the values and
but then also you're fighting for the right of women. I believe some of our parents, mainly the mothers, went through a lot, but still were able to stay in their marriages. These days, we want women to come out and speak. I cannot stay in an abusive marriage, which is when you go back to what our parents used to have. Many mothers, as you mentioned, will come and tell you, your father used to do this, but I was able to stay. So these days, they don't want people to stay. Something like that. Yes, what do you have to say about that?
That it calls for patience. You may run from this relationship, but run with a character.
Yeah.
If it was abusive, wherever you go, you yourself who has run out of this, you're going to be abusive. We've seen people that have left relationships because of beatings and harassment. When they go into a new relationship, they actually do the same that was being done to them. So we need to have patience. We need to have communication, very clear. Some of the negativity around marriage is because of lack of communication.
Yeah.
There is no communication. There is what they call dialogue. There is no dialoguing. People choose to keep quiet in a marriage for two years, two weeks. Why do you even wait for it to escalate to 2 weeks without talking to each other? Dialogue. Then the only intermediary between the partners is their children. Until the children call mommy and daddy together, they can even spend months and years
without talking.
Then what is cropping up now is I have my rights. The women have started working, unlike years back, where women were looking after the family home. The man goes out to look for what to provide. Now, each one of us is living. Some of us are even earning more than
better than
more than our husbands. We are holding positions that are bigger than our husbands. So that lack of respect. Then communication, no dialoguing is actually creating all those issues around marriage. I may not be the best person to speak around, but I have interacted with women, and I can speak from the angle of the interactions we have held. Yes.
Wow, beautiful. And so how do you balance, your demanding career, banking sector, then activism, and of course you're a mother, you're a wife? How do you balance all these things?
Truly speaking, sometimes the balancing fails, but I try so much to balance. Monday to Friday, I'm in office, dedicating all my life for that job.
Yes.
I work smart. I work 8 to 5. I don't want to commit on so many engagements after 5 because then I'm tired. Remember I mentioned 6:45 I'm in office. So active working is from 8 to 5. So after that I'll go back home. So my kind of way I do things is work home. If I need to do anything else, it is either gym. Sometimes you're too tired because of the engagements and you're unable to even go to gym. Then I have a social life that I have cheated for years because I am either tired and they want to be out in the night so late. So I tend to interact with them on phone. My children, I have decided to drop them to school. During that time we are interacting, I advocate for going back home at 6 and wait for my husband so that we can speak about other to-do lists that we have. Yes. But I keep my home very, very protective because I need to keep everything in there. I am not one person who will go to visit all the time. I visit on purpose. Unless there is an issue, that is when I'll visit. If there is no issue, I visit on purpose because I want to dedicate time to my children, train them to be better people, regardless of my tight work schedule. So we have time with hubby. Sometimes we go out and spend nights out away from the children because we have toddlers that keep calling mommy. So sometimes we have maybe holidays twice in a year we have our me time, together time with him. Then for the children, we have moments of Sunday, we go to church together, and then after church, we eat lunch. If we have to go swimming, we go swimming. So I have a very, very unique character with me. Some people may not appreciate and look at me as a workaholic. I love dancing. I love music. I'm a very jolly person. I don't take alcohol, but very hyper. I should say I'm a hyper person. Okay. And sometimes people think either I drank before I came. Yes, no, I don't, but very hyper. Yes.
Wow, beautiful. And so where do we see, the activism that you're doing in the near future? Which plans do you have? Do you have any bigger plans for this kind of work?
Yeah, thank you. I look to come up with a foundation. I look to come up with a clear office where women can find me. I just need to know the legal aspects around them coming up with it, because some may even require me to adopt. Yeah. I look to be a motivational speaker to change lives of women and girl children. So there is quite so much that I look to do, because I look to retire very soon.
Oh.
Yes, and go into activism for women and girl children. But I do not close window to men and a boy child.
Yes, yeah.
Like I mentioned, mine is a twofold. If a man comes, a boy comes, I am there.
Yes.
If a woman comes, a girl child needs help, I'm also there.
An environment where we are all equal.
Yes.
Wow. All right. And so as we conclude this conversation, with your experience in the banking sector and of course with your activism, what kind of advice would you give to a young girl who is watching us right now and a young woman?
Thank you. The advice I give to you, women and girl children, please take on the roles that men think they are the only ones that can do them. Yes, you can. The women can. And get role models. By this time, I cannot say I'm looking for a role model. I already have role models in Uganda and outside Uganda. A role model may not be within your age limit. It can be someone who inspires you into changing your life or being who they are. Don't pick on the wrong role models.
Okay.
Yeah? When I say wrong, I think the world out there can judge where wrong lies.
Yeah.
But a role model...
you mentioned a wrong role model. So how can this young girl, be focused or be intentional to choosing the right path or the right mentor or role model to look up to?
A role model is that person who can create impact, positive impact on society. So where that impact benefits not only you, the girl child looking at me now or watching me, that role model must be able to make an impact beyond Uganda, beyond Africa, beyond East Africa, beyond the world. And their relevance must have a legacy if it has to be a role model that you're looking at. It may not be a political affiliate, it may not be a banker like me, but now you have someone, your role model can be your mother.
Yeah.
For me, the statements my mother made when I was a girl still reckon until today, and I'm riding on them. So principled, her yes was a yes, her A is an A, so that is me, straightforward person. If I don't look to achieve anything from what you're doing for me, I do not go for it. So listen to your inner person, the inner Georgina in you will guide you on the person you want to be. But by now, choose a role model.
Wow. Very beautiful message to all the women watching us, and very beautiful and critical in this, this particular month. It has been a very, very good conversation. I'll give our guests time to, say your last remarks and we conclude.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, Madreen, to air in this space. This is my first ever. You people have given me so much, but this is by far much better than I can get. To speak to women, to have all these hours speaking to women, sharing my story, the passion I have for women, and I want to thank that person, Dr. Marvin, proprietor of Icon, because if it was not for him, maybe I would not be here. I want to thank my husband for allowing me to speak to society and change society. There are so many hours I'm away from home and I'm in communities.
And you're in community.
Lamek, Omlangira Lamek Nambale Chibi, thank you so much for making me the woman I am.
Wow.
He's been there in my life. He's transformed me into the person I am. I want to thank my mom. Mommy, I know you're bedridden now, but it is not yet over for us. She said tomorrow will be okay. Indeed, tomorrow is okay, Mommy. Georgina.N.Lwere. My father is also bedridden. He's struggling with cancer.
Oh dear.
But I am very strong. This message will go to you, Daddy. If you didn't walk the journey with me, if you didn't carry my suitcases, if you didn't love me like how you did, maybe I would not be the girl I am.
Yes.
You scratched my back, and I'm here to scratch your back. It is the payback time for you, my parents. I want to thank my siblings. They've given me a special platform. I'm a special species in the family. They've given me a special platform to be who I am. I want to thank my former employer, Finance Trust Bank, the bank that puts women first. They transformed me into the career woman I am. I want to thank my current employer, BRAC Uganda Bank Limited, and specifically my line supervisor, the executive director, William Maweje. He's doing a great job to now onboard me in another platform that looks at the lowest woman at the lowest of the pyramid.
Wow.
In tier one, I was looking at a woman who had transformed. Now here we are looking at a woman
The lowest woman.
at the lowest of the
Level.
pyramid.
Wow.
So he's planning so much for me. He's preparing a lot for me. And I want to dedicate all my success, lastly, to my late grandfather, Ben Joseph Walakida. He departed from us, but the confidence, the articulation, my being straightforward, the integrity I ride on is because of that
him.
great man.
Wow.
He was both my mother and father at the time when my parents were abroad, and he really transformed me in the person I am.
Wow.
If there is anything I can do for you, it is a prayer for you and flowers in heaven.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Madreen. Cameraman, thank you. It has been a great time having with you here.
Yeah.
Stay blessed, women. I am here for you.
Yes. And lastly, you mentioned the Wakisa Ministries in Bukasa, Wakiso district.
Yes.
Yes. So any woman who would love maybe to bring donations or, partner with you people.
Any partnership has to go back to Icon. Yes, any partnership has to go back to Icon Medical Center in Bulenga, because there is nothing I can do without them. They are the medics that have put me into limelight.
Okay.
So anything has to go back to them, and then we can take the lead to Wakisa Ministries in Bokasa. But it doesn't have to challenge any woman out there or anybody who has help for these children. You can just Google Wakisa Ministries and then route. You don't have to go through us. We may not be available when you need us, but you can route to Wakisa Ministries. Yes.
Wow. Wow. What a conversation, to air in this particular month. And it would be a very, very good thing if you share this link with your friends, because there is a lot of learning to get from Georgina's story. She mentioned every woman should have a story, have a solution, and have a success story to tell. Thank you so much, Georgina, for coming through. You're a very busy woman, but we don't take this time for granted. Yes, thank you so much to the people who always come back and watch our episodes. You really do us wonders. And please subscribe if you're watching us for the very first time. Subscribe to the channel, and of course leave a comment. How did you enjoy the show? How did you like the show? What would you want us to do better, or host? If you have a particular guest you want us to host here, you can let us know. I've been your host, Madreen. See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.